I'll talk about two garden Karen stories, because who these people are, and how they're real people, and they're very, very, very common, and they're running our local governments, and they're running our local busybody agencies, and they're just their spirit is just absolute evil. They are the spirit of gossip. They are the spirit of slander, and that's what they are. They're slanderous. They're the spirit of selfishness, selfish, slanderous gossipers. So I'm going to describe these two stories. So one story, I had these gardens on. Actually, someone had a garden on the roadside, and I saw it, and there was like all weeds taking over it, and then I saw the guy who planted it, and he's like, "Oh yeah, that's my garden, but I have a kid now. I can't tend to it." I go, "Oh, how about I'll take care of this. I can help you out with this. I'll pull all the weeds. I'm gonna leave everything that's not a weed. I'm gonna leave it intact. And it's a lot harder to do, to be mindful of every little tiny little plant that he has in here that's not a weed. But it wasn't that large. But I'm like, oh, I'm good with it, and I had done that, and then I had planted a lot of things, and it looked fantastic. This garden looked really good, and I'll say I had daturas in there. Okay, so daturas were a real good part of this garden. I had the two different type of daturas that were growing in there, and I'm like, that thing looked great. The whole garden looked good. It was full. And the garden Karens, they whacked it. They started, everything was, like they just look at, oh, this one's a problem. Oh, this one's a problem. Oh, this plant's a problem. There's like no end to plants that are problems. So they just eradicated it all. They filled it with pesticides, and it's just weeds and daffodils, weeds, and grass. Now that's like all it is. And like they'll put like marigolds in there. You'll see some in a spray. It looks all like someone vomited on it, because you'll see that's what they do. And they kind of took over every garden I had. They took over, and that's what they do. They plant marigolds, and it's like orange, pink, and red. It just looks ugly. Just a color splat of stuff they just bought at the Home Depot, and they took it over. So that's what had happened to that garden. It was weed free. It was just one solid plush garden of all these great things in there. But on top of that, okay, so this was going on. The first year I had done it looked great. The second year was the best. The second year of it looked awesome. So it looked so good, it triggered all the Karens. They had to redo it. Okay, this is what they did. I remember I was in there weeding one day, and a Karen was driving by in her little Jeep Cherokee. She goes, "Hey, what are you doing? That's my garden." That's what she literally screamed out to me, like, "Who is this crazy Karen?" I know the guy who started the garden. Okay, he's right across the street. That's where he lives. Okay, and I've spoken with him many a time, and I've been gardening this for it was like 2 years. And this crazy Karen's driving, guys, "Hey, what are you doing? That's my garden." I'm like, wow, what an evil busybody. It's a liar. She's just lying. She's like, everything's hers, and who am I? How dare I? How dare I? And then she's just one of those many, many, many people who've come in there like, "Well, this gotta go. Oh, this is oh my gosh. Oh my gosh." And they just leave it into the same pile of death. It's just toxic soil with some plants that they grabbed. All of them do this. They're doing this as a rule everywhere. And I won't go further. So in that garden and in every other, in the first year, I had like 300 gardens. And I was planting like pumpkins everywhere and places where they would just grow. So the first year I had pumpkins growing everywhere, and they were growing successfully in places which is dry. There's nothing there, lots of them. And then it became, I just couldn't grow pumpkins anywhere. No, they were just being hunted down as like a threat to all, Karen's sanctity. Karen's sanctity was being threatened by these pumpkins. Anyway, that's how that goes. But in all my little gardens, always they had planter pots that they just left there the city left them. They didn't plant anything there all year. So I'm like, oh, okay. If they have left these planter pots all year long they didn't plant anything and just weeds in there, I'm gonna. And they had a whole bunch of. Here's another just good example. They had in these planters, these big planters, they had put burning bush. Is it burning? What do you call that? Yeah, it's a really kind of cheap landscape plant, and they were all dying and dead, and they just looked like crap. Okay, so in these, and most of them were dead. So it was just a dead, shrubberies in here, just sticks. So I pulled them out, and I planted gardens in all of them, and they were really good. They came out really good, and the soil was abysmal. It was just like whatever the city. They're just commercial. They're spending people's money is what they're doing. And there was a hack. It's complete garbage. And I transferred them into these really xeric gardens that were really cool. They looked really good. And people saw them look really good. And some of them better than others. Some of them had better soil than others. And the thing is, there's just no watering. It's just difficult. It's difficult to get them. I'd have to water them. I'd have to get water. This guy, he was collecting rainwater for his gardens, and he had plenty. That's the water I was able to use, and it was good water. It didn't take much. I would just water it enough. It's because it's rainwater. It's really good. So these gardens were fantastic, and the best ones, people the Karens ripped stuff out of it to make them look bad. They just pulled stuff out of it just to make them look bad. And they were doing this all over the place. I had another fantastic garden. I had a bunch of gardens, and I've caught the different people doing it. So it's all different kinds of people doing this. And another thing that they were doing was putting Black Lives Matter flags in my gardens and LGBTQ plus signs in my gardens. So that's who it is. It's those people. Who is that? It's those people. Okay. Aside from me red-handedly catching them ripping stuff out. It's those people. So here was an occasion. I'm always constantly finding it's just like, oh, it was looking so nice. And now look, someone came in here and pulled this out and just threw it on the ground. That was not nice. And this is what they were constantly doing. Okay. So here it is, this garden. And they were spraying stuff, killing stuff, pulling stuff out, constantly, they're just constantly attacking it, these people. Who? The people putting the LGBTQ plus signs, Black Lives Matter signs. The racist, evil ones. That's who. So there was this racist, evil one. I'm sitting there looking at this garden, and it's like drizzling outside, and I was upset that they ripped something out, and I was like, these fucking assholes. And I was just venting a little bit, and she's filming me on her phone. She's across the street down a bit, and I notice her. Okay, and that's it. That's the garden Karen. Okay, that's who it was. And so I go, hey, I walk over to her. I say, is there a reason why you're filming me? What I'm doing, I'm upset. I planted this garden, and it's being desecrated by some shitty person. And she's like, she lies right to me. She says, I'm not filming you. But now this is the garden Karen. She's lying. These are the evil people. So she's lying. It turns out she's a very proud dual citizen. Okay, I'll put it that way. Just a dual citizen person. She told me this. Okay, and that's as a sign of how good she is. She's like, you know who I am? I'm a dual citizen person. That makes me a holy once. I'm not kidding you. Okay, so this is what she told me. She told me she was so good, she was down in Haiti raising money for the children with Hillary Clinton. That's what she was doing. She was down there as a charity. She's a non-government organization, and she's very wealthy. She was telling me, I'm like, yeah, that probably pays pretty well. You probably live pretty well with that. And she told me this is all recorded. She was recording this. We had a 25-minute conversation. Okay? And it's recorded, and she's talking about how she was in Haiti, doing all the good work she was doing in Haiti, which is not good work at all. I want you to understand that this dual citizen creature is not in any sense good. She's lying. She's filmed the whole thing. So 2 months later, okay, I'm working for this guy, and I get arrested. They come in, like 20 cops come in, and I get arrested. I just started this job, and I'm going to jail now. They're locking me up. It was like two or 3 days they held me. And what happened? I had to go to court for this, and I had to settle out of court because I didn't want to. And I think it was only 2 or 3 days in the lockup. I might have been held longer because I know it was like on 3 occasions I got held for like 6 weeks for not doing a crime, but they held me in prison for 6 weeks, 3 times in like a 2-year period, which is a lot of. That's how many months is that? That's 18 weeks, and so. That's devastating. I lost my truck. I lost my car. I lost my tools. I lost, they were attacking me. And this is the same people. They're very common people. They're running government and robbing the people. That's who they are. They're the tax collectors, the busybodies, the liars, the gossipers. And it's magic to them. Like I said, she was filming. She's lying about it. She knows very well what happened. She's ripping my garden apart. And the whole thing's on record. So we're going to court. And I'm like, it's quite simple. They said I attacked her. They said I was harassing her. I was harassing her, and I was attacking her. And I'm like, no, well, I'm being harassed. That's my garden. And she was, filming me. And I just asked her what she was doing. And then we had a conversation. We're not allowed to have a conversation. And that's harassment. That's not right. And the whole conversation is on record. If she has it, submit it, and that's it. It's a 25-minute conversation, and I want to see it. I want that on record. I want to watch that. No, they don't do anything like that in court. And it's either I need to pay for some expensive lawyers, or we're going to settle. That's what it's going to be. They said we're going to do this it's going to be a long court process, and she's got paid to do nothing. She's on USAID grant money. You understand? She's on USAID grant money. She's just a busybody troll. Okay, that's all of these people are that way. That's what all of the USAID money is for. They're pretending to be virtuous. None of them are. These are the recipients of the money. They're pure evil. There's a pure evil people. I want to go further. Okay, so that was a problem. That was I had to go to probation twice a week for like years, and it's on your record, and it's supposed to be expunged and all this. These are liars. None of the thing they're saying is true. Nothing these people say is true. Even worse, at the same place, they had more. They had some people walking by, and it was like 5 girls, and I don't even say anything to them. I like. They said something to me, and I'm like, what? And they go, ah! And they scream, and they run. And I was like, what the hell's this? And then I'm on the front page newspaper, and they said I was racistly attacking the Muslims. That's what it was. They were Muslims, and I was racist, attacking them with racial slurs. There's no truth to it. So this is like a pack of 6 people walking by. They said something to me, and I'm like, excuse me, what did you say? And then they go, ah, and they run away, and it's in the newspaper. My picture in the front page. That's how evil these people are. So that's what's going on. These are purely evil people. That's the LGBTQ plus, Black Lives Matter, dual citizen people. That's a real story. That's real story. It gets even worse. My picture's in the paper. Now I'm being ambushed on the street all the time by same people, okay? Liberal, Democrat, social justice warriors, okay? With no truth in this situation. There's slander. They're attacking me. I'm the racist. I'm racist against Muslims, okay? That's what this real story. Okay, I was banned from the library. I was in there. I was like, that's how I found out, too. He says, you can't come in here. The librarian guy's like, I'm like, what? What? Here, see? And he shows me the newspaper with my picture on it. I go, what's that? And I wasn't even allowed to read it or look at it. I was like, holy shit, what are you talking about? What does this mean? Get out of here. You're not allowed in here anymore. That's illegal. This is like trial by moron. That's what it is. And I had to go to another library to find out what the hell that newspaper had to say. And that's what it was. That's the world we live in. And another story. So here's another garden. I had planted this garden. It was in a little circle, traffic circle park. It's like a little park and a little circle in the middle. It was just sand and weeds. So I had turned it into a garden. And it's a xeric garden, and it was, whatever I can do. And I also had the city council, the city, start a garden club, because I was going to run for mayor and have a garden club, and I didn't run for mayor, but they did the garden club thing. And I was planting gardens all over the place. They had planters in the city that were vacant from like the 70s. They have never, like, people are like, oh, there's never been anything in those. So I planted the whole city of all of them. I planted them with, strong perennials. And what turned out happening is that the city did come up with a garden club. And now it's like 11 years later, I come back, and that garden was still there, and it had a little sign from the garden club, and it was looking better than ever. I was like, wow, that's really cool. It's the same plants, like, it's, they were alive still, and they were tended to, and they made it, really nice. Because after 11 years, it wouldn't look nice. It was they had to definitely they made it. It was cool. And now, in just this short time, I was talking about this to people, and it was probably this person I knew. It was a sister of someone I knew, and she didn't really like me. But I would see her, and I would stop by, and she was pretending to be nice to me. I was actually being nice to her. She was pretending to be nice to me. She was like gaslighting me, and that's a story in itself. But I would guess that it went through her, and it went to the community. So she was she was raised Catholic, and she became an anti-Christian, married to a dual citizen person. And understand, that's my point here, the dual citizen person, because that park was right next to an exclusive dual citizen community. Okay. So I don't know what that's about, but they want to be segregated in their, special, status. But that garden, after me mentioning this just to, a couple people, I'm like, wow, after 11 years, my garden's still there. How cool. No, they vanquished it. They pulled all of the things that were there out, and they replanted it. Whoever has the money for this, it probably was USAID grant money. This is taxpayer money. And they just planted a all-white garden, just only white flowers. Who thought of that great idea? Wow. It's these busybodies. It's these narcissistic, control freak, evil people. Why were you spiting me? Why were you spiting me? Every reason, LGBTQ plus, BML, all lies, all lies. And it's the slanderous, gossiping people. That's what we're dealing with. Those are my two stories. And I have a whole bunch more, but that's, I got other stories. It's the same thing. It's the same scenario. I know who the people are. These are them. This is his name. That's her name. And this is who he is. This is who she is. They're in the newspaper too. Look at these people. And it's the same people everywhere. And so the principal spirit is, these are liars who are selfish, they're greedy, and that's who they are. They're busybody, gossiping liars. And they know how to do these little tricks. They know how to do these little, it's just, they've been practicing evil. It's magic to them. These are the magicians. These are the wizards and even the wizards. This, worldview of their New Ageism is lies. They are just the principal spirit of greed and evil.